The Philadelphia experiment was an incident in 1943 when the U.S. Navy allegedly sent a cable from Philadelphia to Norfolk from the Navy escort destroyer USS Eldridge, DE-173. Hello guys, welcome back. We are here with another mysterious video. In this video we are going to talk about Philadelphia experiment. But before we start, be sure to subscribe and press the bell icon if you are new to this channel. The Philadelphia experiment was an incident in 1943 when the U.S. Navy allegedly sent a cable from Philadelphia to Norfolk from the Navy escort destroyer USS Eldridge, DE-173. They also make it invisible, just like the naked eye. Most people think it's a scam or madness scam, but some think it really is, and there is a massive conspiracy to cover it up. Interestingly, the story of the Philadelphia experiment entered the annals of American folklore. So what is the real story of Philadelphia experiment? The story of the Philadelphia experiment began in October 1943 in Norfolk, Virginia, but the story did not come to light more than a decade later. On 28th of October, some SS Andrew Furuseth allegedly saw the ship come out of the water in Norfolk. Said to come from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The destroyer disappeared, then teleported to Norfolk. Disappearance and teleportation are clearly two different functions of the experiment. So the extinction was not the result of the epidemic, but the epidemic preceded the epidemic. When the USS Eldridge arrived in Norfolk, it was clear that something had gone wrong. Some were lost during the journey. Others are crazy. Some became invisible and then returned to their form. Others are still fused with the ship in many ways. Yes, it's fused. Maybe that's why no US ships have invisibility cloaks or teleporters anymore. It can also be a fictional story. Carlos Allen's request. The story of Philadelphia trial by a man named Carl Allen or Carlos Allende. Carlos told the story when the USS Eldridge aircraft carrier arrived in Norfolk, Virginia, saying there was a witness aboard the SS Andrew Furuseth. He sent the statement to the U.S. Navy Office of Naval Research. Although there were many negative events described in the script, the public took the story and exaggerated it. Carlos Allende wrote that Einstein's unified field theory made the Philadelphia experiment possible. It is said that Einstein himself told all this to Carlos. This doesn't directly prove that the story is just a myth, but it does add a little to the craziness of these claims. First, it is common for such stories to borrow the wisdom and prestige of great scientists. In general, these stories are easy to refute because people often pay attention to the work of the good guys. There is no evidence that Einstein ever met Carlos Allende or that his work led to the telegraph disaster. Evidence to the contrary. USS Eldridge, like most other ships, has a good track record of work, particularly during the war, in and around October 1943. These records are now public records. According to them, in October 1943 the ship was not far from Philadelphia. SS Andrew Furuseth was not in Norfolk during Eldridge's stay. William Dodge, who also commanded the ship during the Philadelphia trial, later said that neither he nor his crew had seen anything unusual in Norfolk, Virginia. After receiving strange messages, the Bureau of Investigation conducted an investigation. They found no evidence that it was you. The U.S. Navy conducts teleportation experiments. Of course, there is always a tendency to make ships invisible or invisible, but this has more to do with radar than with the human eye. To the United States. In 1994, Jacques F. Vallée wrote an article about the Philadelphia experiment. He had written about it before when he asked anyone who might have more information to contact him. Someone did. Edward Dudgeon served as an electrical engineer on the USS Engstrom from 1942 to 1945. He said Engstrom was in Philadelphia in the summer of 1943. The nature of his job led him to access the condition of his ship and equipment aboard the USS Eldridge. How stuff works. Dave Ruse, Dudgeon's. The story of a broken heart? Therefore, there is no evidence to link Einstein to naval work focused on the invisible and the transmission of objects. There is no evidence that Carlos Allende met Einstein or that Einstein created the technology. However, there is evidence to the contrary of the claim that the USS Eldridge was found in Philadelphia and Norfolk on October 28, 1943. Others disputed Allen's account, saying that others saw the situation. There is no evidence other than the writings of Carlos Allende to support the Philadelphia trials legend. Leave a comment below about the topic you're interested in.